Hey everyone, welcome to Well World TV, Lillian Live in New York. We have a great show tonight. I have one of my best friends, Dr. Sandra Santori. She is from Puerto Rico. We went to college together and she is awesome. She is now a psychologist in San Juan, and she is working, she has over 30 years of experience. She began her career as a psychotherapist, working with children, adolescents, and families all over Puerto Rico, where she was born and raised. She's licensed industrial and clinical psychologist. She has tailored workshops, conferences, and wellness activities. For the past 10 years, she has incorporated her expertise of hypnotherapy and EMDR, which is eye movement desensitization and reprocessing, in her private practice with other students from the medical science campus, shortening years and months of ongoing psychotherapy. At the present time, she's getting certified in biocoding. That's a holistic therapy that addresses the role of the illnesses in human and psycho-cerebral physical effects in the body. Later on, I'm going to let you know how you can reach her. And the title of our episode is Your Body Will Reveal What You Are Unconsciously Ignoring. So now, without further ado, I'm going to introduce you to the lovely, beautiful, my friend, Sandra Santori. Hi, Sandra.
Oh my God, Leo, with that introduction, I love it. I feel so happy to be here with you.
Me too. How are you?
I'm super good here in San Juan, Puerto Rico. The climate is well, and we are all
How's
well
the
in this
weather over
pandemic.
there?
Mm-hmm.
That's awesome. And everyone's doing good over there?
Everyone is good, yes. Mm-hmm. After a
It's
long day of therapy and a good one too. So I'm happy to be here with you and to be sharing so much information about what we're going to talk about tonight.
I'm really excited because it's so unique. And also, I want to tell everybody, when I was in college with Sandra, she was always, let me learn something more. Let me, educate even more. I'm going to take another course. I'm going to do this. And she's been doing that for all these years. So it's really amazing. She's one of the only people, if not the only person in San Juan that practices this biodecoding. So what I want to know, Sandrita, is what got you into this field?
When I was little, my parents always used to do a lot of parenting coaching to different schools, different parents. So they were like not frustrated psychologists, but they always been helping people. So I got it. I moved through that over the years. So then I went to college with you. I studied industrial psychology. Then I got married, I got divorced. So that got me to say, oh my God, the mind is unique. It can help you or it can destroy you. So
yeah.
Then I decided to go for clinical psychology and then my doctorate. And over the years, like you say, always innovating, always looking for new stuff for me and for my clients. So I went into EMDR. Mm-hmm. That's a technique for trauma. And I've been doing it for years. Then I got into hypnosis, which I integrate hypnosis, EMDR, and now that I'm working with biodecoding. Mm-hmm. That have to do with emotions in your body. How illness becomes like a metaphor for the symptoms in our body. So you start looking at the person from a biological point of view, not a psychological one. So for me, it was hard because I always, as a psychologist, look at the person through their psychology, through their mind.
Right. Yeah.
So it's become quite interesting just to see that how how you do, you have to look for the history of their biology, of the person's biology, to see what's been the emotion that's been the leading one in their patterns, in their thinking patterns, behavior patterns, and all that, and in the illnesses.
So that you have to look for the emotion. You said that's the leading one.
Yes, and how does that go? I'm in the process of getting the certification, but as a psychologist, I get to integrate all these therapeutic protocols with my clients. So how do I get to work with with the people through biocoding or integrating biocoding? We use techniques to access and resolve the emotional trauma that causes disease, and because our mind sometimes trick us, mislead us.
Yeah.
If I think that everyone is against me, but really nothing happened, but I really think that everyone is against me, I might start feeling, that I'm being paranoid. Or if I think that my boyfriend is looking at another, person, and I keep thinking about that, it gets to the point that my mind will trick me. I will say, yeah. So maybe I will get aggressive, I will be isolated, or I will start interpreting the perceived danger. So I start reacting according to that. So when a client goes to when I see a client, and now we're doing a lot of virtual telemedicine, yes. So, which is very interesting because therapy goes very well by this method. I never thought I could do hypnosis. I never thought I could give a therapy well done by doing it virtually. So when a person comes to me, sometimes they have the diagnosis of saying, maybe I have thyroid, Hashimoto, or I have breast cancer. So that's a given, because I know it's like a roadmap to me to go quickest to the symptom, to the emotion, and to the question that I will ask the person. So, but when people just go to therapy and they don't know what exactly they're gonna work, solve, you can always start looking at the client by the way they talk, the words. It's not the same listening to somebody say, I feel disgusted by something that my family did to me, that if I say I feel so anxious, and they go like that. So I listen to the nonverbal cues as well as the words. So if a person tells me I feel so anxious, I will go like, okay, I observe that you're putting your hand in your chest. What happens when you feel anxious? And I will say the same words, because that's their own world. It's not mine. So I never put words into their narrations or the story they're telling me. I always take notes, because the words are very exact and important.
Interesting.
And they tell you by the words, you say from what organ in the body they're talking to you. So our body is always adapting to new situation, as well as our organs, tissues.
Yes.
If I'm under conditioning, I go outside from this room, and there's no air conditioning outside, my skin needs to get adapted.
Yeah.
If I get into a rock concert, I need to adapt my ear. If I go from the dark to some sunlight, my eyes maybe. So my organs are all the time adapting to new situations. But what happens when I don't want to hear something that maybe my husband is telling me all the time? I might do a tinnitus. I don't know if tinnitus. Just like a ring in my ear.
Okay, yeah. Okay.
Or I can be I can do some infection in my ear because it's like a way that the
to block it out.
Because
Okay.
since I don't get any external solution of saying, you know what, I don't want to hear you tonight because you're being hostile or because you're doing whatever. So my body makes that adaptation. So it's whoop, and I just block. If I feel a lot of anger with my family, but I never say it, or I say it, but they don't listen to me, and I feel that still is disgusting, maybe I will get some cancer in my like a anal cancer, for example, in the rectum. So when I talk to you about I don't find a solution, I'm exhausted. Well, I'm stuck. If I tell you, Lilian, I'm stuck, from what part of the body you think that I'm talking right now? I'm stuck. Just think about the biology, the function of the part that makes you get out of being stuck. What will that be for you? When you feel that you're stuck, what part of your body is talking to you?
Maybe the lower part of the body.
Yeah. Is it skeleton muscle? Muscle-skeleton part system.
Musculoskeletal.
Musculoskeletal system. Okay. That takes you to move forward in your life because you walk. And now with this pandemic, it's been interesting with people with ADD, for example. I feel stuck. I feel confused. I feel like in a pause because they don't get to move around. I'm more in Puerto Rico because they've been pretty, more rigid with the laws here. So there's a lot of people going crazy because they feel like stuck in their life. But when you go exactly to what part is talking about, I feel stuck. No, I feel stuck at work. But you know that they're talking about moving on, moving forward in life. So your body's always talking to you, but sometimes we don't listen. We don't take the time to listen because we don't have time for that. No, I know I'm tired, but after I finish this work, this project, I will take a nap, or I will take a day, or I will go for vacation. And what happens when you go on vacation sometimes? You go like, now I can relax. And then you get sick. And then you get the cold.
That happens to me.
You know that my mother used to tell me, no, you have to take vitamin C, you have to nap, you have to relax because you're gonna get sick. You're gonna get sick before you travel, before going on vacation. And for years, I always got sick when I sat on the plane.
Interesting.
Claro, I work a lot. I work more. I did more. My lives were longer, and my body was telling me, Sandra, relax. Life is not gonna end tomorrow because you go on a vacation. But then I end up being sick. The first 2 days on vacation.
When I go
carry my body.
A few weeks ago, I went away just for a week, and I took my work with me. And what happened? My back was about to go out, and my friend said to me, "Don't put your laptop away, put your work away, come to the beach." And I listened. I put everything away, and my back did not go out. Like I just forgot about my work, but my back always goes out on vacation.
Well, but this time your friend was that external cue that told you, Lilian, put that down. Next time, as you see, when you say, no, I'm just going to leave it and put it away, I'm just going to enjoy, then nothing happened. It didn't proceed, the pain in your back.
So do you think there's a direct connection between the mind and the body?
Oh, yes, totally. And by the way, I have a therapeutic protocol that I use when the person tells me, oh, I feel a disconnection between my mind and the body. It's like your mind is going somewhere and your body is every otherwhere. So, it's a very interesting exercise because I get the mind and the body to communicate between them. I make them, for example, write down the problem, what they think the problem is in between the body and the mind. Oh, because I get tired all the time and I never get rest and my mind never stops, whatever. So, and always to write a symbol, because symbols are very important. Our mind reminds more symbols and words. So we started, and I become the messenger between the mind and the body. And it's interesting because I've been doing it in virtual therapy, because you always have to be creative. So
right.
I used to do, in my office, but now I have to invent and be creative with this.
Right.
So it's like, okay, I'm the messenger and the mind. I always put the person to write two names, mind and the body, and to put in different places. So, and they have to, when we're sitting in the mind, we have to like be here in the mind, okay? Make the body be in your mind. And then when you're sitting in the body, it's like, okay, shake it and feel your body when you sit here. So we're switching, and I always a facilitator here. The mind is bringing you a message. So I'm giving you the message. Write what do you want to write when you read this. So anyway, but it's a very interesting exercise, and the person always integrates some new learnings about. Usually is, I need to stop. I need to listen to my body. I need to listen that when he says it's enough, I'm tired. I'm tired. I need to rest.
Right. That's very important, because a lot of people don't listen to their bodies.
Mm-hmm.
When you mentioned to me about there's like 7 active conflicts in the body, what is that all about?
Well, I don't know what that is all about, but I can tell you that that's what my professors have told me, over my workshops and my certification. But they say that there is 7 active conflicts. It's not that you go to therapy, you solve this, and maybe you solve it forever, okay? But we usually have different stuff. For example, you see people that they get problems in their
neck, back,
in the neck, or in the back, ¿verdad? In la vértebra, in the
vertebrae, in the spine,
And the spine is our system of support.
Right.
It's like when you see a sailboat, the muscle that that is. That's our support system, ¿verdad? And when a person feels that it lost all the support that needed, ¿verdad? Or that he's not supporting, for example, my grandchildren, I could not help my boy, and I feel that I have been, my support is over, but I may have, back pains in the column, but at the same time, I feel that I talk to you and I am like, but I feel my chest, I feel anxious, and when you talk about this part, a lot have to be with your respiratory system, the air you breathe. And sometimes people, when they feel they don't have any air, it's because it's like my life is taken away. Maybe something that I heard, I don't love you anymore. So I feel I'm gonna die.
Right.
Usually the people that feels respiratory the issues, conflicts, are because they feel like the basic of something so basic and vital that is breathing is not happening, because they have maybe a perceived danger in their life. So that's like already 2 conflicts. Oh my God, I feel that if I cannot support my kid, I'm gonna die, and then you start adding some different stuff. If I don't find a solution for that situation, and I keep loading and loading, I can start getting migraines, or, so maybe you can get some conflicts at the same time, maybe just one conflict that you're dealing with, okay?
Right.
And I want to bring, Lillian, that I would think in one point that is very interesting and very important when we deal with children. Through biodecoding, it said that until 7 years old, any illnesses or any symptoms that the children present has to do with unresolved conflict from their parents.
At 7 years, at 7?
Yeah. So,
Okay.
What's very typical in children? Asthma.
Oh, yes.
So in that cases, when I see a kid, I don't stay only with that. He's in the pediatrician. What happened in your life? I asked the parents, what happened in your life when he was, because there's so many things. And in biocoding, you go not in this stage in your life, you go when you, ¿cómo que se llama? Intrauterine, when you're in the
internal.
Okay.
Oh, uterus.
Well, when you're those 9 months of pregnancy, okay, or even before, some ancestral roots, something that happened with your grandparents, with your parents. It's very interesting. I could be here, talking forever, but it's very interesting. And it happens when I see a kid, and I said something about asthma. Asthma have to do also with that I cannot say what I need to say. Something is taking my oxygen from my life. That could be some parents are very possessive, or a lot of fights in the house, or so you always work with the parents, but also with the children as adults. Because if I have asthma and I see in my medical record that they have asthma, I will go for that moment, that exact moment, because that's a very important thing in biocoding. When you talk to a client, you have to go to that specific moment that you have the shock. It was like a bio shock, where my emotions got stuck there in my system.
But maybe they don't remember when they're 7 years old.
No, that happens unconsciously. Yeah. But people, when you talk to people, we all, including me, we always have some words that we keep saying. Oh, I'm so insecure. I'm always, I like to be in the back of the things. I never want to be.
Labels.
Mm-hmm. So those words, when you go back to that moment, there's always something to do with the feeling, with the sentir, ¿verdad? Within you, along with your history, your biology history of illnesses and all that. So when a person tells me about the asthma, and they learn how to speak up, they learn to limit their space, their limits, with their parents and all that, maybe it can be gone.
Yeah, that's very interesting.
The doctor will say, no, you have to keep the treatment or whatever. And it's important that the person, when you start working with hypnosis, by the coding, lo que sea, whatever, the person stay with the doctor, because the medical part is important too. Okay.
Right.
Yeah.
Wow. So, when do you use hypnosis?
Now I work here in Puerto Rico. Besides my private practice, I work in the UPR, Medical Science Center, where we have a lot of med schools, students, they go to different professional schools in health. So anxiety is one of the first symptoms that these students present. It's like very normal for them. So I do a lot of hypnosis with the students. with the MCAT. MCAT is the test
the med boards
to get into med school. I do a lot of preparation for the steps, so they can visualize themselves and they can resolve all those issues of insecurity, lack of attention, and lack of trust. Trust. So you can use hypnosis for so many things. For what the person needs, to transform some emotions, some aspect of their life that they need to change, because the mind can do anything, can transform you. If I do a hypnosis where I can tell you, just let's think about that we're in our kitchen, and then all of a sudden I bring a knife and I cut a line, and this line starts like splashing. It's very acid, but very very green, and you start squeezing it in your mouth, and then you start feeling it, and it gets to the point that you start like, and nothing is happening.
Really? Wait, but what if I tell you that did you ever meet anybody that's not hypnotizable? Or can everybody be hypnotized?
Well, that is, if you want to, you will do it. If you want to be on diet and you want to be skinny, you will do it. If you want to, it's the person have to. It's nothing that I do, but it's auto hypnosis, because you are the person that needs to be wanting to do it, because you want that change, and only with the idea, the intention that you want the change,
right,
is enough. You're leaving the door open for that.
What about EMDR, the rapid eye movement? When do you use that?
Well, it's something that, even though it's a good technique, and I've seen that in the United States, in the States,
yeah,
they use it more rehabilitation centers, and when I get referrals, the most of the referrals that I get is from people that have been in therapy in the States, because they use it more for the medical insurance and all that. But it's an excellent method. You work the same. You get a protocol and you work with the target memory. You always, in all these different techniques, hypnosis, EMDR, biodecoding, is a different roadmap, but it's a different way of getting there. But you always tackle the emotional. You always go from a memory target, and you deal with. You access the emotions, the behaviors, and the thoughts. Those three areas, until like the mental, the physical, and the emotional level.
Wow.
So, but
is there any one? Is there any one therapy that you think is better, or it depends on the person what you use?
For example, EMDR. I don't know. In my experience, it's been, unless if the people don't ask for that specifically, I will consider.
They don't know.
I will consider a person that is very mental. That is more, because that some people are very mental, that are very analytical, realmente.
Yeah.
Those people sometimes like, I'm not gonna get hypnotized. I'm not a material for that. I'm like, yeah. And sometimes they just fall into it. I mean, we're always in trance. We all, in a daily basis, we get in trance and we don't even know it. I can be talking to you and you can be talking, what's the next question that I'm going to ask Sandra? That's a trance. Or you can be driving and you're like, what the hell? How do I get here? And I didn't even know.
Yeah.
Oh, now so I understand. The thing is that I make it, I get I facilitate the trance for the person. I direct that trance. But you can, when you go into hypnosis, you can talk. You can, if I say something, you can always be alert and get up, and be up. It's not that I'm going to get, anything, the secrets, if you don't want to tell me, no.
Right. Now,
that's a myth.
You mentioned earlier We have about 5 minutes, but you mentioned earlier, wow, this interview went fast. There's so much information, and time flies when you're having fun. But you mentioned earlier about ADD. I have to tell you, even our age group, I have met so many people our age that have some kind of an ADD where they interrupt, or they can't focus, or they jump around, but they have jobs. And I mean, I don't understand. I don't get it. Like, I don't know what's causing it. I don't know anything about it other than I can't believe how many people our age have ADD.
Bueno, life has changed. We have a lot of stressors. I get ADD when I have a WhatsApp, when I have a messenger, when I have a message, when I have an email, and I have like 4 emails. So I'm like, what? You know, I get ADD all the time. What do I do? You know, but
Right.
we have a lot of, and even young people have a lot of issues with multitasking, and it's been known and investigated that multitasking is not good. You have to take one at a time. Even
That's
though
right.
I feel sometimes that I'm multitasking, yeah, in the house maybe, but if you have to think about something, you cannot be taking classes virtually and being on the phone talking to a friend, because it's not the same. But I think that nowadays, more in the pandemic, everyone have ADD. You know, it's been very hard. No, it's been very hard because we have taken our, the rug out of our feet, and we're all lost in our routines, we have family in the houses. So ADD is a typical reaction now, out of focus, because we're out of focus. We cannot plan in the future. Nobody, with all the people that I was talking today, thinking about the future is so hard. Do I want to plan a trip? I can't plan a trip because I don't know what's going to happen. So we're like in a pause, and that makes us be like ADD, like I don't know what to do. I don't know what I'm going to do in the work, studies, and all that. Mm-hmm.
Do you think then that that ADD could be related to some type of a body illness? And on the same note, do you think everyone who gets an illness is it's always related to something that they are not revealing?
Well, talking about ADD, yes. Bueno, that's for what I learned. You can say that it's genetic. There could be a genetic part, but I think that when it maintains, you get some gains, from being ADD. I have this case that this boy that it was ADD. When I go into his life, and it's mostly, when you look for an ADD, it's a person that cannot sit, because if I stand quiet or sit just in one place, I'm gonna have that person like talking to me. It could be my mother, it could be my parents, it could be or it can hit me, or it doesn't have to be, but I need to move. Why do I need to keep moving all the time? Will be the question. Why do I need to be moving all the time? Why do I have to keep being unresponsible and feeling unresponsible? Maybe it's my thing, but maybe it's because I carry that from my mother, that maybe she's so perfectionist and anything that I do is not okay, and it will never be okay. So, but that's a very complex, I think, the topic. And what you mentioned, the last question, yes, I think that a tear that you don't cry, a laugh that you don't have, a word that you don't say, or you don't hear, or you don't want to hear, a movement or an action that you don't take, it always accumulates. Yeah. And that accumulation leads us to some illness. Every time that I have a person, it can be a symptom, just like, oh my God, I felt like my chest. And I tell you, I'm very observative, and I will say, go there, because I need the person to go to the emotion, not avoid it. Because I have a phobia for the lizards. It's not that you have to touch the lizard, but I have to talk about it. Right. Because I have to move that emotion that has been stuck for time. So yes, I think that is, every time that I talk to a person, I always go to the moment before that happened, before that symptom was felt. And there's always something I didn't say, that I didn't do with a fear, something, ¿verdad? That I didn't recognize it. I didn't realize it was unconscious.
Yeah, I agree.
When it happened, it becomes some like a structure, a pattern, a biological pattern, and maybe the disease will repeat. ¿Verdad?
I agree with you, and I know you work with a lot of people, like people that have cancer and all types of people with illnesses, and I know that you have made a connection between the mind and the body. And I'm not going to get into it on this show, but I had my own battle with cancer. I'm fine now, but I can say that I know that my immune system was down at one point. And when I think about it, I think it was really stress related. I was just kind of like, not able, didn't know how to couldn't deal with something. It wasn't dealable. It was just, just there. And I just had to shove it because I couldn't do anything about it. And I think I do believe in the correlation.
Well, you have to shove it when you don't want to shove it. That's something that stays there. I don't want to shove this, so I don't want to do this, but I have to shove it.
Right, I understand.
I have to stay quiet, because if I speak, I can die. I could die, or things
right.
like that. Or so.
Do you have any tips that you can offer before we go? And then I'm going to put your information up here if anyone wants to get in touch with Sandra, Dr. Santori. You can reach her on Instagram at Santori Sandra. And do you have any tips that you want to say before we end?
Well, with this topic, it's very important that you take conscious, as an example that you said about the back and your work.
Yeah.
Right now, you know that you have to make a conscious effort when you go on vacation. Leave your laptop, leave all that, so you can really go on vacation.
It's hard.
Well, I know, but making the action, it becomes a habit. If not, you're gonna keep having the habit of taking your work to vacation. So the illness is never gonna be. That's gonna be repaired, because you can get a back pain again because you're not learning the lesson. So you're gonna take conscious about your emotions, what your body is talking to you, what is telling you. If I go like this because I don't want to hear, take conscious about that, but make a moment to say, what do I want? What do I want to listen? And say it, or maybe write it down, or maybe you can take a journal. I believe in journals.
Yeah.
Questions. I give my clients a lot of, journalism and questions. Another thing is, take a time. Sometimes I don't want to listen to it. I just keep going. Listen to your body. A quick routine. Wake up in the morning. Don't get on the phone to see the news. That's first minute. It's the only minute that you have that you're with your completely
with yourself.
It's a special minute that you're just waking up. Is the transition to the day. Make a conscious, put something in your GPS that is important for you. How would I like to feel today? I would like to feel organized. I would like to feel happy. So the next would be, so what do I have to do? What can I do today to feel like that? I'm going to do my agenda and do the task. Meditate. There is an excellent app that is called Insight Timer. I use
What is it?
Insight Timer.
Okay.
I'm going to show you here rápido.
Insight Timer. Yes, meditation is so, everyone loves that.
Hey, espérate. Ay.
I see.
No, that's PayPal. Insight Timer. Insight Timer. And they have a lot of, you can go for 5-minute meditation, 10 minutes, 15, 20, 1 hour. And the most important thing is that I never recommend one is specific, because if I hear one, I say, I don't like that noise. I don't like that it's too long. I don't like the voice. So you gotta, know what you really want when you do it. when your mind is loaded, it's overwhelmed, some meditation that is guided, a guided meditation can help you get organized. Okay, it's not that you're gonna like get, mindfulness. Exercise. For me, you know that I've been always exercising. That's a must. Do something for your body, for to release stress. Eat well. Nowadays, forget about chips and brownies, and I do.
That's what everybody's eating at home. They're stuck at home. Yeah.
And because we feel stuck, we do. It's like, well, whatever, anything goes, and they don't exercise, and then they're like, oh my God, I'm so fat. So don't eat. Exercise.
Yes.
Do something also. This for the meditations that they're inside timer, use for sleep. You can use it to go to sleep. There is a lot of insomnia, lack of sleep. So I can be talking forever, Lilian. You say, yeah, Sandra.
Yeah. Mira, this was awesome. I'm so happy to see you, mi amiga, from my college days. And I'm really excited about all the work you're doing and it's really incredible, like, groundbreaking, new, cool stuff that you're doing there. And one of the only people in Puerto Rico that's doing it. I can't wait till this thing is over and I can come and hang out and dance some Wilfredo Vargas.
And have a coco loco. Have a coco loco at the beach.
Absolutely. Thank you, Sandrita.
Yeah, and I have to congratulate you also for all the things that you're doing, Bella, for the HPV cancer and all the things, the great things that you're doing. I'm so proud of you, Leo.
Thank you, Mika. Thank you. Thank you. There's a lot more to come.
Yeah. Okay. I'm very glad to be here. It's been a great moment for me, Bella.
Gracias, gracias, gracias. Mwah.
Bye.
Besos, besos.
Okay, bye-bye.
Bye.